morning, everyone. It's coming on towards 8 a.m. Monday morning, the 20th of November, 2023. We're getting ready to leave, or I should say we are ready. Only have to hoist the main, start the motor, and drop the mooring, and we're off. So, where's Miss Dee Dee? She's hiding in the cockpit right now, doing her own thing. I think she did a little video and she's talking to her friend from the bar who's at home still. Anyway, it's let's see in the background, big old dreary cloud just passed us from the south going north. The sky out to the west looks pretty clear, but also the sky in the north is looking rather cloudy. We may or may not get some rain later on today, depending on where we are. But over that way, you can see some blue sky in the background. And that's kind of the direction that we're headed. So, this is it. 1,800 miles to Richards Bay, plus or minus a little bit. So, somewhere around 3 weeks or a little less. If the wind treats us well, good direction, good speed, we could get down there in 2 weeks. It's quite easy if I got some wind and it's from the right direction. I'm excited to see how well the new mainsail will perform, and most especially the new auxiliary rudder. We're going to get to test that out here. It's about 3 miles to get outside, completely outside of the harbor and the entrance channel through the reefs that lie offshore. So once we get out and get set up with the sails and everything else gets going, I'll come back and do another quick little shot. Bye for now. Well, folks, here it is, Monday afternoon, getting on towards 4 o'clock, and we're back in Kalihi Harbor at the boatyard. We did leave this morning, went out, got poured rain on, and we're just about getting ready to go out through the final pass in the reef. And all of a sudden, the motor started making a bit of a different noise. I looked down below and there was water on the cabin sole. Not a whole lot, but enough to be concerned. Popped off the engine room cover and looked, and there's water squirting out. Well, what happened was there is this conglomeration of pipework which carries the exhaust gas. The engine is here, goes through up and into the water mixing elbow, and then into a rubber hose into the muffler. Well, right here, the pipe had corroded away to basically paper thin, and it broke off. And so the exhaust, the raw water, was pumping back through here and out here, outboard or port of the engine, and that was getting on the cabin sole. Anyway, what I did is fortunately we had a metal soda can, aluminum, and it was just big enough. I made a sleeve to go over the pipe, what was left of the pipe on the flange on the engine, and here put 4 hose clamps on it to hold it together, and we managed to put back into the harbor here and pick up the mooring again. And then, you know, I had to take it apart, run up there, get the fabrication guy. The power is off at the yard, so there wasn't really much he could do, except I took him with me because he knew a fabrication shop in town. We went to a parts place, hardware store, and got new parts. And so we got the new coupler, nipples, elbows. This is a bronze piece. So that's undamaged, uncorroded basically, able to reuse that. This is the piece that goes into the exhaust hose, a new one. The old one, when I tried to take it out, it also broke along the thread line. So anyway, that's galvanized. Standard 1.5" Schedule 40 pipe, as are all the other bits and pieces. And then this piece, because it was only about that long, sticking out here and all corroded away, had to take this to the machine shop, and they had to cut it inside here to release the old pipe, cut a new piece of pipe, put it in there, and weld it. Can't weld it on the outside because it would interfere with the mounting nuts on the studs on the exhaust manifold. And of course it has to be flush here because there's a gasket that goes between the heat exchanger and this flange. So now I got to put all this back together again. Reconnect the hose, of course, and the water injection hose, which goes here. Exhaust hose goes here. And you can see it's got kind of that 90 is turned. I got to more or less duplicate that and have the threads tight enough so it doesn't leak. It's a bit of a challenge sometimes getting everything set to just the right tightness so that the thing can go together. They didn't have any close nipples. They had only these kind of nipples, which are a bit longer. I'm hoping that that's not going to cause any interference problems, because back here is a bulkhead for the aft end of the engine room. It should clear okay. I'll find out here in a couple of minutes when I put this thing back together again. Anyway, you never know. I had replaced all these parts in the Philippines. They were all stainless steel. This part was the original that came on the motor. So that's probably 30 years old. But all the other parts were new. I had reused this. Actually, from the previous engine, I reused this. So this is as old as the boat, if not a little bit older. That's 40 plus years, but I would not have minded making all this out of bronze, marine bronze, but trying to find that stuff anywhere and not paying an outrageous sum of money for it is very difficult. And this stuff lasts for years. I mean, this is probably 6 or 7 years old anyway. Anyway, back down below, put it all back together again, and we'll head out again tomorrow morning. Bye for now.